Hey everybody, here for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood Season 3, Episode 7. Let's get into it. Okay, so it begins with Ray J's retarded behind walking into the barbershop, meeting up with Max, and he's like, it's hot outside, ain't no kids in here, right? So he cursing up a storm. So they get in their haircuts, and Ray J is like, "Oh, I want to let everybody know, how when you have like the sponge, that if you put on your hair, it'll curl your hair up." He was like, "Now I made the sprush, and the sprush will curl your fro without you using texturizer and all this other stuff, so it'll make your curly fro keep it curly, nice and tight, or whatever. You ain't gotta, you know." So I'm sitting up here like Ray J, he like, and then I'm opening up the Scooty Bike store. So when I got the Scooty Bike store, you could get that and you could get the Sprush. We doing Raytronics and Hairtronics. I'm like, okay, businessman, you make your money, honey. But it's just the way that he describes it is so animated. And I'm like, Ray J is just... I see why Princess be so frustrated with him, because Ray J is a mess. So before I even get into this, y'all peeps, Lisa, the barber, was cutting Ray J hair. If you watch LA Hair, Lisa was on, what season was it? I think season 3 of LA Hair. And she was the only girl barber in there. She was the only one that bought Kim Kimble, male clientele for haircuts and all of that. But it didn't work out for her because she was in the salon and people just kept like nitpicking at her. So she basically left that salon because she got into a fight with Naja, the big girl, because Naja called her a man. So, she left that shop because honestly, I felt like Kim was wrong in firing her when she need to, suspend Naja, put her on probation, whatever. But if y'all ever watch LA Hair, y'all will peep Lisa, the barber, the barber, if there's a female name for it, the female barber, doing Ray J's hair. I was like, oh, go ahead, Lisa. I know you make your coin, girl. If there's nothing else she know how to do is make that coin. So yeah. So him and Ray and Max are discussing trying to find a work-life balance. And Ray J is like, I gotta make money somehow. This wedding is gonna cost a grip. And he's like, you ever been to a cake testing? Asking Max. And Max is like, yeah, where you go to taste the cakes for the wedding and whatnot. He said, yo, I missed it. He was like, I just feel like I'll pay for everything and she just take care of everything else. Max is like, well, if y'all are going into a marriage, it has to be y'all as one. It can't be her making all the decisions by herself. So you got to be there. So he's like, right. So they start discussing the whole thing with Brandy and Masika, and how Brandy brought in half, some of the money that she has stolen from the baby's college fund. So Max is like, you know what? It was never about the money. It's about gaining her trust back. Like, we've been through so much. And for you to take money from me and, not think twice about it. Like, when have I ever told you no? I've never told you no. All you had to do was ask me. So the fact that you basically lied to me about it and took it and was sneaky about it, that's the problem I have with it. It was never about the money. If you wanted the money, I could have given it to you. But instead of you outright asking me for it, you just took it and did what you wanted to do with it. So, I like Max. Max is very level-headed. I wish his teeth disturbed me. I'm sorry. And I can tell it's because Max sucks his thumb because guilty. I'm a thumb sucker as well. But you can't really tell. See? Like my top teeth, they poke out. But, a lot of people who suck their thumbs, this whole part of their teeth just stick out. You can't really tell with me, see? Not that bad. But Max, you can tell he sucked his thumb. He probably just stopped sucking his thumb. Like, you could tell he been sucking his thumb forever. Forever. So, I was like, okay, Max, I like Max. Now, Brandy, on the other hand, she annoys me. So, moving on. Next scene is with Teairra meeting up with B. Michael Cox. First of all, Brian Michael Cox is, oh my god. Yes, I said Garer. Brian Michael Cox is a hot producer. If you've ever heard any songs produced by him, oh my goodness, he is an awesome producer. So Tierra goes to meet up with him because she wants to get some insight from him, and she's ready to get her career back on track. She's, in this scene given the history of her career when she was 15, 16. Jay-Z signed her to Rock Nation, and then she was signed the same she was signed the same time as Rihanna, but they felt like they would have regretted it if they didn't push Rihanna's career forward, and if they would have, like, I guess they would have, I think she said something like LA Reid would have regretted, or if he took a chance on Tierra over Rihanna, he felt like he would have regretted or something like that, which I mean is kind of true because Rihanna is like a big celebrity now. And I mean, not to say Teairra Marie is not as big. Teairra Marie is a celebrity, don't get me wrong, but she's not as big as Rihanna. Like, Rihanna's internationally known, So, basically she's asking, Brian Michael Cox, if you were to have like a meeting about me and my name came up, what would people say about me? And he was like, oh, probably that you're crazy and that you have like a lot of legal issues, you have issues, period. And she's like, but that's not true. And he's like, listen, you can change that and sway people's opinion of you by putting out good music. Use your platform for greatness. And I'm like, that's true, Tierra. Like, this whole time, I can say this about Tierra. Season 1 of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, she did try to get her music career going again. And like, in the midst of her doing that, she did get sucked into a little drama with Hazel, but that was the end of that. They let that rock or whatever. Their friendship was kind of bumpy, but she did try to get back to her music. Season 1. Now season 2, she was all about drama and lipo. So she can't say like that's her fault, because she could have, season 2, she could have did more things pertaining to her career. She did that one little single with Young Bird, and then we ain't hear no music from her anymore. So Teairra Marie, that's kind of your fault because you were more invested in breaking up Princess and Ray, and it didn't even work, than you were focused on your music. So it's like now, they're getting married. It didn't work. That was a waste of your time. So now you want to get back to the music. And there's still a chance, but you should just, that should be your main focus. Not Ray, not Princess, not drama. Music. Get back to the music, because Teairra Marie has a beautiful voice. Me, when I don't know if she had another album, but when her first album came out, The Rock Presents Teairra Marie, and she came out with, is there any girls, any boys around that know how to make I'm jacking this song up. If there's any boys around that know how to make a girl feel, that want to make a girl feel, make her feel good. I got that album. I still have that album. That's my favorite album. And cause me and Teairra Marie is about the same age. Yeah, we're the same age. We're actually, Teairra Marie is like I think she's a couple of weeks older than me, because I think her birthday's in December. But yeah, when that album came out, I bought it because I liked that album. That whole entire album, it was very, we were both teenagers at the same time. So the songs and everything she had on that album was very, 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 like, it spoke to my life at that time. But even now, like, if I listen to it now, I still feel like, because I always like to go back to when I was 17 or when I was a teenager. Sometimes, sometimes in life I got to put myself in my old shoes. But yeah, like that album, I really like that album. She really spoke to a lot of teenage girls in that album. But after she made that album, Jay-Z dropped her from the label. So her career has been stalled. And it is time for her to get back to the music. She's about to be 30. And, that's not old. She still has time to get out there and come out with a nice record, So I say go for it, Teairra Marie. You just got to use your platform for greatness, like B. Michael Cox said. So now we get to Lyrica and A1. I, for one, am proud of Lyrica and A1 for getting married, eloping. I don't care. Of course, her mother is going to be tight, but it is what it is. Lyrica and A1 are grown-ass adults, okay? And they did what they felt was right because the mothers were acting like little bitty kids. So they move into their new home. and they're excited to decorate. He picks her up, brings her over the threshold, and they're excited to decorate, and they want to throw the housewarming party. So I think Lyrica, one of them came up with the idea like, oh, why don't we throw the housewarming party, like invite them and tell them, hey, we're having a housewarming party, blah blah blah, and then drop the bomb on them like, hey, by the way, we got married, and it becomes our wedding reception. So Lyrica is like, I already know how our parents is gonna act when we announce it. And A1 is basically like, listen, it is what it is. We done got married. We already, did it. They just gonna have to deal with it, and it is what it is. They have to live with our decision because we're living with our decision. We're doing things on our own terms. It's about us against the world. It's not about them and their feelings anymore. And I'm like, A1, you go ahead. Yes, like, just... Your mothers will be okay. You have no time to be babysitting grown people. Like, it's ridiculous. So now we get to Tierra, Andrew, Nikki, and Shonda. It's Nikki's birthday, and Nikki doesn't feel so great about the love triangle. And she feels bad, and she feels like maybe she's acting out because she has her own personal issues that she hasn't dealt with. So, she didn't mean to hurt Safari and Rosa, but that's what happened, and she feels bad about it. So they start talking about, because Tierra was drinking, and Nikki was like, oh, will you be able to get an Uber, or are you banned from Uber? And Tierra was like, yeah, I'm banned from Uber. And the story behind it is all in the headlines if you Google it. Tierra got arrested for like petty theft and I think assault or something like that on an Uber driver. So she may have to go to court for that. She had like a citizen's arrest, and Nikki is concerned. Nikki is like, what, when Tierra drinks, she is very crazy, and I'm just concerned that she's on a downward spiral. So she's like, well, I don't have a choice but to take it to trial. I could go to jail anywhere between 6 months and I think 5 years, she said. And I'm like, dang, homie, like, it was that bad? So now we get to Rosa and Jason. Rosa feels played, and she invites Jason, because I think she's boxing or something. She invites Jason to, basically let him know you were right about the whole story with Safari Minaj. And I'm like, Rosa, shade. I ain't got no lemonade tonight. I ain't buy no lemonade in a while. But Rosa, that was shade. So, Rosa just basically like, I think Jason was asking her if she has been in contact with Nikki, and Rosa's like, listen, I'm not feeling Nikki right now. I'll leave her alone. I won't, he's like, but yeah, don't you have the whole thing with her with the New by Nikki, launch or whatever at Kosamia? She's like, listen, she don't stop my coins. I'll still do the event with her, but as far as like on a personal level, me and Nikki ain't got anything to talk about. So, I think Jason was trying to just, start some mess by talking about some, so Rosa, would you ever get with Safari? And Rosa's like, please, first of all, Rosa has a thick Spanish accent. This is the first time I have heard her say something where I ain't hear no accent at all. She just went straight hood. She was like, Jason, put some respect on my name. I was like, yes, Rosa. Yes. Read. And I'm like, yo, y'all be playing Safari out though. Like, I can't. So now we get to the housewarming party. And the whole time Lyrica and A1 are trying to make sure the guests, didn't want to yawn. I'm tired, so you might see me yawn a few times in this video and videos to come. So, they're having the housewarming party, and they're, mingling or whatever, and their moms are there, and they're both nervous about telling, well, Lyrica is more so nervous about telling her mom. So, they're talking, and they're like, well, this is how we're going to say it. I'm going to say this, and then you say this, and we'll just see how they take it. So they have their speech or whatever. Everybody's there, Nikki, Tierra, and, a couple of other people. So, A1 is basically like, we want to thank everybody for being here, and, welcome to our new home. And, Lyrica is like, Mom, I wanted you to, I know you wanted us to move in together the right way or whatever. And they're like, well, we did it the right way because we got married. So, everybody is happy. Pam is happy. Everybody's excited. Lyrica G takes her champagne glass and throws it on the floor, and the glass shattered everywhere along with her drink. So Pam is happy for them. Pam is like, woo woo, I'm happy for y'all. So Lyrica G basically says that she's heartbroken and upset because she wanted to share that moment with Lyrica. And she's like, why would you go out and do something like this without me knowing? You could have given me a call. You could have done, anything. So Pam is like, why can't you just be happy for them? Like, I'm just as much in shock as you are, but I'm not stressing about it. And, Lyrica G getting in her feelings to myself, Pam, you got the right to feel how you feel. Don't tell me how to feel. Da, da, da. So A1 is like, you know what? I honestly think that Lyrica G is jealous. Why is it that everybody's happy and you just ruining it? And she's like, because you don't do that. I'm her mother. You don't think I wanted to walk her down the aisle or help her plan her wedding? You took that from me. So she, everybody's happy. Pam is happy. Everybody happy. So she leaves. And A1 is like, you know what? F it. We gonna party. It's whatever. And I'm like, yeah, she'll get over it. She will get over it. So now we get to Princess and Ray. Princess is very frustrated because, Princess is very frustrated because Ray didn't come to the cake tasting. So they're in the car and they're driving, I think, down Hollywood Boulevard or something like that. And she says something about the cake and he like, how it tastes. I'm like, yo, Ray J, you are a jizzerk. Like, I can't. So, she's wondering why they driving down Hollywood Boulevard. They get out the car and he has the Scooty bike billboard sitting on Hollywood Boulevard or whatever with the two of them. So Princess is over it. Princess is over this whole Scooty bike thing because she's like, you sat there and you made a promise to me that you were going to be there for me to help me with the wedding and you're not. And now you bringing me to Hollywood Boulevard to show me a billboard of us with the Scooty bike business. And still, what is that supposed to do for me? I need you to be present. So, she's like, I just need you to be there. I need you to be present for the wedding. I need you to help me make decisions because I can't make these on my own. Ray J, he's sitting up here like, babe, take a picture of me on the bike. She's like, really, Ray J? Really? He like, come on, babe, just take a picture of me real quick. She gets in the driver's seat and she drives off, leaving his stupid ass on the sidewalk with that Scooty bike. And I was like, good for you, because you being stupid. So now we get to Brandy and Max. And it's their son's birthday, Brandis. And Max isn't there yet. So, she's talking. I think Nia was there or whatever. So she's talking to her and telling her, yo, I know that I messed up. And I didn't think it would be this bad. But I really just want him to come home. I miss him. So, I think Nia's telling her, give him time. He'll come home when he's ready or whatever. She's like, yeah, I am going to give him time. Until then, I'm just going to, do what I got to do. I just really hope he shows up at least for the baby. So Max finally does arrive and he's like, I wouldn't miss my son's birthday or whatever. So they speak. And he's like, it was never about the money. I love you. All you had to do was ask me. I just felt like the trust was broken, which is why I got upset about, everything. So, hand all in the way. Sorry. Which is why I got upset about everything, but I'm not going to keep punishing you. I'll come home and we could be a family again. He's like, just don't do that again or, it's going to be an issue. And she's like, it won't ever happen again. I love you and I miss you and I'm so glad that you're here. So they resolved that issue. Hopefully Brandy won't do nothing stupid like that again. So now we get to the Cosa Mia event with the New by Nikki. And Nikki is discussing the confrontation with Tierra and I think Nia, one of them. So she's discussing it and Rosa arrives with a date. Cute girl she was with named Carter. And a skirt, first of all. Anybody else know? Did Rosa have drawers on? It don't look like Rosa had drawers on. It don't look like she was wearing panties because you saw all kinds of side ass cheek. And I'm like, Rosa, where your drawers? I'm like, okay. So of course Nikki is like, "Ugh, well, when she walked up in there with the girl, Nikki is like, well, I'll never let another chick see me sweat or whatever. Let me just go say hi. She's claiming she's not moved by it. One thing I notice about Nikki is when she's backed into a corner, she figures out how to, compliment herself and make herself look bigger and better in the situation than anybody else, because she's sitting there, Rosa introduces Carter to Nikki, and Nikki is like, oh, I guess you're my upgrade, my replacement, or whatever. Carter is like, well, it's nice to meet you. You look very nice tonight. And Nikki is like, oh, are you flirting with me? I'm a very desirable woman. And I'm like, Nikki, just take this L. Stop. So she's basically just throwing jabs at Carter or whatever. And, basically showing off. So, Rosa is like, yeah, but Carter doesn't lie or date lames. So Rosa is like, I want an apology. And she's like, listen, how many times do I have to apologize? I'm not apologizing about it anymore. I said what I said. I apologize to you. And I shouldn't even be apologizing because we wasn't in a relationship. So Rosa's like, okay, it is what it is, Nikki. We ain't got to, talk about it no more. And they ended it there. Nikki is being too prideful because you need to apologize. You were the one in the wrong. So you should apologize and move on. At least to mend your business relationship. Even if y'all don't have a personal relationship anymore, at least mend that, because you can't burn bridges. It's not good. So now we get to Tierra. She's on the phone and she gets mail and it's saying, it's about her court date. So, she's trying her best to remain positive, but she's just ready for it all to be over. Like, just, do the trial, let it be over. So now we at the Scooty bike launch. I think it's in Melrose or whatever. So Nia is there and she's talking to Ray and she's asking why. I think Nia and Soulja Boy was there. And she's talking to Ray and she's asking why Princess isn't there. And, he's like, well, Princess is busy with the wedding and, she's struggling and whatnot. Ray was like, Nia is like, well, did you help with anything at all? He's like, well, I helped with the budget. So Nia is like, no, she needs you present for everything. Y'all are about to become one. Y'all need to come together. So Ray was like, well, I had I had time to think on a long ass Scooty bike ride home. I'm like, yeah, dummy, because you sitting up here and you not taking her serious when she telling you she need help. So, he's like, yeah, I had time to think and I just know that I do need to be there for Princess. I know she really does need me. So before Princess came in, he's like, you know what? I'm going to just say it now. I renounce my throne. From this moment on, like the scene from Coming to America, from this moment on, I will no longer be the king of Raytronics. I renounce my throne. I'm like, Ray J, shut up. So Princess arrives with a wedding officiant. And she's like, you know what, since you're not taking this wedding seriously and since everything is being a headache, why don't we just get married now? Let's just, we have her present. She could get us a marriage certificate on the spot and we could just skip the headache. He doesn't want to get married there. And Princess is like, well, when do you want to get married? Because it's like, you're not all in with me and I'm tired of doing this by myself. He's like, listen, I know I've been busy and I know I've been selfish, but all of that is going to change. You wanted 100% from me. Now you're going to get 5,000%. So Princess is like, well, I hope with this whole thing, Ray finally learns that happy wife, happy life. I'm like, yeah, because dude, he's messing up. Hard body right now. So now we get to Lyrica G and A1. Lyrica G is going to their house. Let's just say this. I mean, Lyrica G annoys the hell out of me, but she got body. She don't look bad for a woman her age. I don't know how old she is. She got a young girl body and an old woman face, but she don't look too bad. So, she goes to A1 and she's like, I'm just here to pick up the dogs or whatever. So they start discussing the elopement. And she's like, I'm still upset about it. A1 is like, I don't understand why you're upset. So she's like, I don't think Lyrica would have just ran off and married you. I don't think she would have done it willingly. He's like, well, I didn't put a gun to her head and tell her to, marry me. It was a mutual decision and we both decided to do it. So she's like, so all you offer my daughter is a $2 wedding and you get her a ring. You upgraded the ring. The ring could have been bigger in my opinion. And I'm like, Lyrica G, first of all, that's what Lyrica wanted to do. That's one. Two, the ring that he got her was an upgrade of the ring that he gave her before. And that ring is bling bling. What are you talking about? I'm like, yo, from A1 saying that Lyrica G is jealous, I can see it. Because you dissing the ring, you dissing the wedding, you dissing all of this because you had nothing to do with it. You are not Lyrica's man. You are not, like, relax and know your role. So, A1 is like, well, you know what? Since you have so much to say about the wedding because you weren't there, how about I give you the picture? So he gives her the picture. She takes the picture, throw it on the floor, breaks the glass in the frame. So she's like, that's what I think about your wedding. So she's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not arguing with you anymore because now I feel like you're rubbing it. You're throwing it in my face. I just came here to get the dogs. So she tries to go to the back to get the dogs. He's like, the dogs ain't here. Lyrica took the dogs with her. She's like, well, you know what? I'm not standing here entertaining your foolishness anymore. And she leaves. So he's like, all right, leave. He goes outside to where Lyrica G was trying to go after she left and called the dogs in. And that's where the scene ended. I'm like, A1, you are P.E. to the T.T.Y. But that was the ending of season 3, episode 7. You let me know how you felt about it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.